going on, guys? It's Ash here coming at you today in Clash Royale. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. It's going to be a good one today. The Impossible Challenge series is back here on CWA, and I'm joined by TheGodRF. He's a pro player from Immortals representing North America. They got to the CRL World Finals in Japan. Unfortunately, we're out first round, losing to Ponos Esports, but nonetheless, an incredibly good team with an incredibly good player. And this is the deck on the screen that we're going to be spotlighting today, guys. 2.2 Xbow cycle, some insane gameplay for you guys. This guy somehow completed a 12-win grand challenge, beating several 20-game winners with really impossible type matchups. Wait till you see the last matchup in this video, guys. It will not disappoint. But first, let's start with Lava Hound. What about Lava Hound? I got you covered. Now, the TheGodRF is actually going to start out just by using defensive Xbows in a lot of these matches if the opponent makes the first move. The cool thing about this deck, and this is one of those decks, guys, that I kind of have a weird feeling that if I was to run up against a really good player playing this deck out in the wild, I think I might be on the losing end of it too, because it's not as bad or as difficult if you're a really skilled cycle player as it may seem. Even against a deck like this, Lava Hound Double Dragon. Let's see how he deals with this matchup here, and already the poison comes down for the opponent. Very noteworthy here, guys, is that the TheGodRF does not have any spells that can do tower damage. He opted to include the Barbarian Barrel instead of the Zap or the Log in this deck, or the Snowball, so he has nothing that can damage the opponent's towers. So even in some of these matches, I think one match he gets it down to like 40 HP on a tower, but he still has to grind and get that Expo to the tower. That is his only option. No minor and no kind of tower damage, but you're going to see an incredible amount of value gotten out of the Barbarian Barrel. So in a way, it was a really smart move, especially in this matchup here. So he kind of lucks out with that Princess Tower, locking onto that Inferno Dragon instead of the Baby Dragon, which was a tile or two ahead of the Inferno Dragon, no? Maybe it locked on early there. Anyway, he gets an Expo lock really early on here. He's going to protect the Expo from that Mega Minion, doing a brilliant job of getting that Ice Spirit to temporarily freeze that Mega Minion, and then the Bats take it down, taking that left tower down to 818 damage. But now we're going to be entering into double elixir time, and boom, there goes the Lava Hound in the right lane. We go in with just a Bar Barrel and some Skeletons, trying to get some sneaky damage, but the opponent says, no, 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 no. I noticed that you have no damage spells. I'm not going to give you this tower just yet. So here it comes. It's going to be a Lava Hound that also helps out his cycle, obviously, guys. He's going to want to cycle to as many Bats as possible while still putting pressure on the opposite lane. Doing a good job of doing so there. He gets Goblins and Barbarians to the left tower. Doesn't take it down, but it's down to 164. Now look at this. We have a Miner. We have an Inferno Dragon. We have a Baby Dragon. He's doing a great job of cycling Ice Golems and Barbarian Barrels to distract that Baby Dragon, keep it away from all his Bats, which were doing work against the Lava Hound, and then the Pups, and then the Miner. And just like that, another Lava Hound. We talked about this, even though it was only 100 and something damage on that left tower, he's still forced to play that Expo there, and then again, cycling those Barbarian Barrels behind his tower, keeping all those troops preoccupied, stunning that Miner, and there it is, 3 seconds left, no spell or no elixir left to cast the poison from the opponent, and a split screen right here, or a freeze a shot right here, because again, having that glitch where my replays just crash my device. Apologies for that. So what I decided to do is just freeze frame on the 0 second so you guys can see the final moment of these matches. That was an intense one there. How does he win these matchups? Now he's going against Splash Yard Freeze, which this deck is everywhere. I saw Juicy tweet this out today saying that this deck might be too strong. Is this the too strong deck in the meta? Me personally, I don't know. I still think it might be that Barbarian Hut deck. Any Barbarian Hut deck to me are the decks that feel like the strongest. At least those are the decks that I had the most success with. Check this out. Mirror Xbow, guys. He sees the opponent play that bowler in the back and he says, hey, let's go ahead and mirror that Expo. The last thing that Naxiva YouTube was probably thinking there when he dropped that defensive Expo was that he had another one ready to go with that mirror card. So Bats take out that Baby Dragon, and just like that, that left tower is going down, or not gonna die though. Yeah, I think this was the situation that we were talking about with 40 HP left on the tower. Now he's really gonna luck out. Naxiva actually makes kind of a critical mistake here, and he gives RF the tower for just an Ice Spirit in just a second here. Now, he probably had no way of knowing the RF had no way of taking that tower down had he not given it away. He would have had to invest at least a 6 elixir for that Xbow on that left tower. Luckily, he doesn't have to do so. I think this might be the moment right here. Here it is. Ooh, man, if he had just defended that with that Barbarian Barrel, this match would have been so much more difficult for RF. But he's able to take the tower down for 1 elixir. That was a huge turning point in this match. Just insane. So here we go. Now he's just cycling in the right lane. He's got a big push that he's going to have to contend with. It's a double Barbarian Barrel there, taking down that bowler. Again, the mirror is just so... I don't want to call it... It's underrated for sure, in my opinion. It's one of my favorite cards. I'm going to put it right up there with cards like maybe Bowler and Guards and Hunter as some of my favorite cards that just don't get a lot of love. I love Mirror because your opponent's never expecting you to mirror a card. And now that this game has evolved to where almost every deck is a bait deck of some sort, you're trying to bait out some sort of a spell out of your opponent, they're very, very unlikely to anticipate you having that spell or that card still in hand via the mirror. That's why I think that the mirror is a card that you guys should probably consider experimenting with. Now, this freeze comes down, but RF does a very good job of kind of staggering his cards here. Obviously, if your opponent does have freeze, which many of them do in this meta, make sure you're dropping the cards like Goblins, which will not die to freeze, before you drop cards like Skeletons or Bats, which will die to freeze. Pretty obvious there, but it bears repeating. Here comes the Graveyard, doing a great job of blocking up that lane with 2 Ice Golems. The freeze comes down, and look at this, 0 seconds. That's the end of the match with 82 HP left on the tower. RF wins again. Now let's go ahead and watch him against this Pekka matchup. This is one of the 4 matchups that I'm going to show you guys today, which really wasn't like a photo finish like the first 2 matches. This was just a dominating performance here by RF, and then after this one, we're going to watch the 12 win against a really good player playing Barbarian Hut and 3 Musketeers. Mind you, how do we answer Barbarian Hut and 3 Muskies? We have no spells. We have no big spells, I should say. It's going to be an intense matchup. So here we go. It's going to be Pekka. Even though the Pekka Dark Goblin were in the right lane and distracting that Expo, we're going to make sure we support this push. We take care of the Dark Goblin. This is a cycle deck. It's a very, very fast cycle deck. So we want to make sure we're always cycling. We're always playing. We're not necessarily splitting cards in the back of the King Tower. How many times have you seen him just throw away cards in back of his King Tower with this fast cycle deck? Very rarely, if at all, thus far, and that's something I noticed throughout all of these replays using this deck, which obviously, guys, I say this every impossible challenge where we use these fast decks, but these decks are not great. I'm not kidding you here. Disclaimer, I probably should have put this at the beginning of the video, right? In case it's someone's first time watching the channel. But these decks are not great decks. They're not meta decks, okay? Just throw that out there. These are decks that will help you become a better player. It will improve your reaction time. The more you play them, the better you will become using other decks. And the better you'll be able to anticipate opponents when going against a very fast deck, even if you're not playing one. So here we go. We take care of that Pekka there. About 1 minute and 20 seconds left in this matchup against Eunice 54. Let's see the TheGodRF here. I think it's in the next maybe 20 seconds where he gets that first lockdown. So here it comes. It's an Xbow, and he decides to delay a second there. That was a good move on the opponent's part. He drops the E-Wiz and the battering ram. What? And then there it comes, goes into the right lane here, doing a very good job of distracting that bandit. What, you got bridge spam? You got bridge spam? No big deal, man. We got a fast cycle deck. We can answer pretty much anything that you can throw at us. And here it is again, a Barbarian Barrel on that Dark Goblin. Then it's going to do a good job of taking down that E-Wiz. And here it is. That is the lucrative lock that we're going to look for in this match here, guys. 30 seconds left remaining in the match. And here it goes. He has the wherewithal to kind of not just just continue supporting that Xbow, but rather cycle to another Xbow. And this guy's gotta be frustrated. He has just enough for Pekka, but can't get the Pekka down in time. And that is gonna be GG. We have bats, we have everything that we need. We have double Barbarian Barrel again, the Mirror Barbarian Barrel coming through for RF again. And that tower is down right there with only 7 seconds left to go. This time we don't need to freeze frame. We don't need a photo finish. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be an easy dub, or at least he made it look easy for RF. Here we go into the match that I told you guys was truly the most difficult matchup that he probably faced here. By the way, he did take an L in this grand challenge, and he lost to, surprise, surprise, a big golem beatdown deck. So the opponent here, don't know his name, or don't know how to say it at least in Chinese, but he makes a crucial mistake in this matchup, and we'll talk about it when it comes, but it isn't until late in the match. And so many times during this match, I thought that RF was going to be toast. I thought he was going to lose, but hey, I should have been a believer. This guy's a beast. Wait till you guys see this one. So a defensive Xbow, and again, rule of thumb with this deck, just from watching the 12 replays myself when choosing which ones to share with you guys, is what RF usually does is if the opponent makes the first move, just cycling something in the back, he'll usually just play that defensive Xbow as his first play in the game, just knowing how fast this deck cycles. Something that is a little bit unorthodox, something that you're not necessarily going to be doing in a normal like 2.9 Xbow cycle deck. So here we go. We get an early lock on, about what, 500, 600 damage off that right tower. We'll take it, but now we have to respond to this Royal Ghost and why do I keep calling it the battering ram? The battle ram in the left lane. This time it does make contact, so we take some incidental damage to both of our towers. More than just incidental damage to our left tower, taking it down to 1841. That gives a slight damage advantage halfway through this match to the opponent. And now you can see the opponent's hand. Like, how can you deal with this? How can you deal with this? A Barbarian Hut reloaded here. Now he's placing his Barbarian Hut in a very risky position there. Essentially, he's giving the right lane to RF here, and this is a strategy where you understand why he's doing it. He's doing it essentially to not lose the Barbarian Hut to the Xbow, but it's going to come back to haunt him later on in this match. At this point, I feel like the opponent could have potentially just fireball cycled his way out of this match. He still has 4 minutes to do so, and he has plenty of tools in his arsenal defensively. So that was a good Barbarian Barrel onto the opponent's 3 Musketeers. He takes them down. 3 Musketeers are another challenging response for this deck, although we can stack up defensive Xbows and rely heavily on our Barbarian Barrel. Again, we do have no direct damage other than that Barbarian Barrel that we can use on the Musketeers. So we're going to try to stay a bit defensive here and pick and choose our spots. We have not executed an offensive Xbow since that early lock that we got on that right tower. Another defensive Xbow, and immediately responding is the opponent with another Fireball there. So Fireball lands, Xbow's still at about half health, and that's going to take down that Barbarian Hut, and boom, there it is. Xbow on the right. This is the big Xbow. No, it's not. It's not the big Xbow lock, Ash. It's later on in the match. Shut up, Ash. Don't ruin it for us, dude. All right, so here we go. Xbow's actually going to be stymied by this Royal Ghost. Now we have to deal with the Royal Ghost. Royal Ghost goes down. Flying Machine doesn't lock on thanks to those skeletons, but the Flying Machine finally does get some chip damage on that right tower, taking it down to 1534. Another Barbarian Hut. He sets up with the defensive Xbow a little bit in the right lane here, so he's got to be ready with another Xbow, and there it is. The mirrored Xbow as soon as the opponent plays those 3 Musketeers, and this is the lock that I was talking about, guys. That was such a smart move, and again, the opponent knew he had mirror at this time, but you probably just forget because who runs mirror? He's forced to use a fireball on the double Xbow there, but this match is not over yet. But what wherewithal from RF, guys? What wherewithal to be able to go ahead and wait. He drops the first Xbow. He baits out that fireball. 3 Musketeers, or he didn't bait out the fireball, but 3 Musketeers land. As soon as those 3 Musketeers were played, he was ready with that mirrored Xbow. Gets that really crucial lock that really ended up deciding this match. But hey, 947 damage left marked on his left tower, 1102 on the right tower. Here it goes, a nice ice golem to kind of kite and distract. There's a Royal Ghost there as well as a flying machine, guys. Royal Ghost goes all the way till the other lane, and Xbow set up defensively here. It cycles so fast that it's hard to keep up with it, guys. So here we go, Barbarian Barrel for the opponent. 3 Musketeers are down, 2 Musketeers right lane, Battle Ram and a Musketeer solo on the left lane. Fireball comes down. Xbow's at about 1/3 health. At bats on the right Musketeer, takes it down. Xbow down. Royal Ghost plays, but hey, the Royal Ghost does not become visible in time, and there it is, the final lock of the game, and boom, just like that, 16 HP and my device crashes. Woo! There it is, guys. The GodRF. Man, dude, that was some insane Expo Cycle gameplay. Forget Expo Cycle. It was just insane gameplay, you know, in terms of everything else I've shared here on this channel. I really enjoyed this video, and I enjoyed having the GodRF on the channel. I think this might be the first time. I ought to get him back on voice. He's a really good, disciplined player who I think would have a lot of strategy advice to share with you guys. I think you guys would really enjoy him. But anyway, guys, that's going to do it for the video. Check out his player stats and profile and his Twitter account, all in the description below under the show notes. A huge shout out to RF again. A huge shout out to you guys for making it through the entire video, for staying all the way till the end. You're my OG viewers, my biggest supporters, and I really appreciate you guys. So huge shout out to Bren Chong, my YouTube partner. Huge shout out again to all of you. Thank you for watching, and as always, take care, guys.